In this particular instance, when it feeds, normally it's supposed to feed into this rocket ship latch. It's not really feeding out, but which is fine because you're really not supposed to shoot that anyways. When I did feed it, it was going into it was going in there, and it was going to the pops, and then inevitably, once it gets in the pops, you're kind of in trouble. And then sometimes with the scoop feed, it was feeding out. Usually you can let it feed out and bounce over. But in this instance, it's just barely grazing that right flipper. So I'm not really trusting it to do that. So I'm at least giving it a little flip. You could probably live catch it, but I would not dead bounce it. That is for sure, because it's not doing too well on the dead bounce. So I'm just screwing around. Here in about half an hour, I'm going to do the official tutorial. Figured I would mess around for a little bit. Get my feeling for the machine, for how the bounces are. Okay. A little too wide. Drive time. Lock shot is eluding me at the moment, which is fine. Switch pockets here. Got the full smorgasbord here. Is that? Oh, I was like, is that computer in there? I was like, no.
I wish.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know. No. So yeah, it seems to just be bouncing out, so I'm not really getting anything.
Change machines.
What's that?
We need a change machine screen.
I know! It's like, this is how it works. So is like, every ball seems to be coming out on.
So we removed the ceramic power ball, so it's not in there, and it's set. There's a setting in the ROMs to
let every
third ball will be your
a power ball. Okay.
Which is actually better for because it's too random.
Right.
It's inconsistent work, so it works out better.
So that's nice. And then you don't end up with somebody who accidentally drained a power ball, and then you don't, and then it pops out or something like that. So it's a lot more consistent. The Powerball until it kept yelling at me. It was like, I want the Powerball. just messing around here at Lee. Trying to get something started out probably in about half an hour. I'll do an actual tutorial. Getting comfortable with the machine. When you get a chance, could you just turn that down by like 50%? Okay. So, you're probably nope. The biggest thing for me is how this shot is going. Am I maybe up just a hair? Almost there. Maybe just maybe we were okay.
A little more?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. It felt like it changed like very rapidly. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I don't know. It was like going from daylight to black.
Dark real quick.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah. Cool. Now I should probably check my focus. That would be smart. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully very well. It's league night. Can't be beat. The other shot I'm really trying to figure out where it is that jackpot shot to the piano, which is this shot here, under the clock. I'm kind of messing around with that. Seeing where like it. So let's see. So typically a full plunge. In this particular game, you cannot rely on the bounce out. I'm gonna try to light your lock by shooting the left ramp and right ramp once each. Okay. At least I thought that's what you do. Feel like. Yeah, I guess I did. Maybe it didn't register. Really like to, I should have shaken that. Like to battle the power. So it would be nice. fun. So one thing I like about this game is similar to it's got an oddly similar rules feel to Adam's Family and just how and kind of the structure of the game. And just, you know, lighting modes, things like that. But it's got a very familiar feel to my favorite game, Wizard of Oz, which coincidentally Ted Estes worked on both. He worked on Wizard of Oz and he worked on this game. Ted Estes worked on a lot of games. Okay, so we gotta lock it. First, we gotta get the ball under control. So I was talking to John just before the stream started, and or maybe it was while the stream starts. The game is kind of set to a competition mode. Tight shot. So every third ball is powerball. But I feel like the first ball you get out of the gate seems to be a powerball. Not doing great. Nope. Dangerous feed. All right. Nope. Focus up there. Doesn't feel like it's lighting the lock. Well, so that's unfortunate. Because the mic is right here. So let's see if that. It's hard to hear me. That's unfortunate. Can you hear me a little bit better now? Maybe now. Here, let me maybe turn this down just a hair. So let me know if that is any better or worse.
Everyone, there's nothing to scare about. It's just people.
Okay. So let's see if that's a little bit better. Nope. Okay. So that's about as loud as I can go on the mic there. It's weird. Okay. And then maybe we'll pump that up a little bit. All right. Okay. Yeah, I guess I appreciate that. Thanks. It's probably just the background noise. I don't know. I like putting a little bit of ambient sound in there. But all right. Yeah, right down the middle. Nope. Yeah, it was probably just all that background noise. Sorry about that. I was trying to ride the auto levels on that, but hey, sometimes you can't win them all, right? So, Ghost Thruster, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Here in about 15 minutes, I'm going to do a little tutorial on this game. I'm working out some. We might need to do a quick examination. Yeah, it is. So this is one of my favorite. My favorite table is Wizard of Oz. Absolutely. This is one of my favorites. It's sad that Wizard of Oz was down for you because it is such a wonderful game. And Wizard of Oz definitely reminds me of kind of a updated time warp or Twilight Zone. So the left ramp isn't registering. Like when I make it, it's not lighting gum.
I had that problem last week. I ran through it earlier and it was registering.
Okay. It's weird because it registered. Well, it registered for the first like 3 or 4 games, like when I first started screwing around, and it's just not. It hasn't so far I've probably made it like 5 or 6 times and it hasn't registered. So I'm not
I
worried.
tried a few more times.
Yeah. Okay.
It was working.
Okay.
I know other people said something about it.
So this machine is on free play. But the rest of the games are not. At Arcade Super Awesome, yeah, so they're all cash. But this particular one we put on free play because I'm going to do a tutorial, and then it's kind of the featured game of the night. But it's nice. It's a really nice arcade. You got the really cool pizza place downstairs. But most of the games are, like 50 cents. Some of the Sterns are $1 if you, they're $1 if you do one play, but they end up being about 75 cents if you buy 3 games, which is not bad. That's pretty typical. Yeah. So there's actually a pretty nice arcade, I feel, in the Phoenix area. I'm gonna switch these around here in a second. Yeah, I feel like there's a really nice arcade in Phoenix somewhere, and I can't. The guy who runs it actually, or no, maybe it's Tucson. Maybe it's Tucson. The guy that runs it actually runs a podcast. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it really depends upon what you're into, and kind of like what your budget is. I would say the first thing to do, absolutely, is find something that, like you said, find something that you grew up on, find something that you really like. I'm gonna see if I can fix that. So that's, I mean, honestly, like get something that means something to you. You'll like it a lot more. I mean, junkyard. I would say high speed, depending, and again, it really depends upon your budget. There are games. There's a lot of games I could recommend, but honestly, it really comes down to what games you like. So so I would say, first things first, get a game that means something to you, and then And then, and then you can start looking at what games you really like to play. Like a really good resource is the Pinball Arcade. It's an app that you can download for your phone, or you can play it on your computer on Steam. And that will allow you to play a lot of those games that you remember, a lot of those really famous games, like Twilight Zone, for a pretty cheap price. I think most of the seasons are like $20, $30, something like that. And then, that $30 includes, like, I don't know, 15 games. So then you can play that. That's definitely what I would recommend doing, is kind of go to digital pinball, kind of see what looks good, and
Do you have a point purse? At the bar, they've got little point purses. You ask them nicely.
well, okay. I would definitely say, like, if it's your first game, I would maybe, and it kind of depends upon how handy you are, but if you're your first game, I would definitely recommend an older game, kind of getting into the swing of things, getting into like how to play pinball. Now, if you're not very handy and you don't feel very comfortable fixing games, because older games are, even if they're working when you buy it, they're inevitably going to have more problems as you play. If you're not real comfortable doing that, I would get a newer game because you'll have less problems sooner on. The problems are fairly easy to fix, but if you don't feel really comfortable fixing games, that's probably one of those things. So, I would say, like I said, if it's a game that you remember from your youth, you'll be less disappointed initially. So, I did it like maybe 3 or 4 or like 4 more times, and it's still not registering. Okay. No, I'm not worried about it. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also too, before you start next week, maybe try rebooting it.
Okay.
The Switch was registered in test mode. Maybe there's some sort of software problem.
So yeah, just kind of depends upon what you're, what you
Yeah,
like.
it kind of neuters the game a little bit, right? 'Cause
A
you
little
need that
bit,
rough
yeah.
frame to
Yeah.
start it. Try restarting real quick.
It's weird because it's definitely detecting, like if I get super skill shot, it'll divert it over, so it knows that a ball's coming up there. It knows to like divert the ball over, I guess. So I don't know. It's weird. Hey Arcade, thank you so much for the host. Hey, if you are coming from the Arcade streams, head over to boomgo_pinball. Hit that follow button. We would greatly appreciate you doing that. We desperately need some followers. Yeah. So thanks for the host. I appreciate it. We need to machine that wouldn't want to buy something higher. No, so definitely my recommendation would be to get a game, get a game that's fully working. Absolutely. Like your first game should be fully working. If at all possible. Then, no. And that's like one of my first games was a Gorgar that needed, quite a bit of work. And it was super frustrating. So, let me see here. So, and your best bet, if you're not already on it, join a website called Pinside. That is that's a great place to kind of like find out where things are. Craigslist is a really good resource for finding games. So, whoops.
Into the Twilight Zone.
Hey, thanks for the host. Yeah, I appreciate it. See who else is hosting. So we got 2 hosts right now. So right now, yeah, we're just about ready to start. So right now I'm kind of feeling out the game. So one thing, this is definitely a one thing that you have to deal with. Where the switch for the right or the left ramp isn't registered. So what I'm kind of doing is I'm figuring out, I think really realistically, like what my technique would be is to progress through the door panel. So we're gonna do kind of a formal. But you know, as you come into games that are on location. I saw that somebody hosted. I'm not sure who did. Thanks for the host. But yeah, so you're going to inevitably come upon games on location that aren't working perfectly. And what do you do about that, right? Well, okay. So I am a fairly big advocate of virtual pinball to a degree. When it comes to virtual pinball, I like playing it. It's definitely the cheapest way to go. Oh, Buffalo Pinball, thanks for the host. I appreciate it. Jaded, thanks for the host. I appreciate it. So yeah, virtual pinball is a really good resource, for space and money and whatnot. In the end, though, and this is pretty much the stock answer for most pinheads. I had a really nice virtual pinball setup. I had something like 100 or so games loaded on it. And it was kind of difficult because there was really something about it that didn't. I still didn't get the same feeling out of it that I do when I play real pinball. So what I did was I basically traded the 100 or so games that I had loaded on there. I traded that for I sold it, and then I used that money to get a Johnny Mnemonic and just really spice it up. I'm gonna do one little changeover in the mic setup. Test. Okay. So, let's see here. So let's do that. Here, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh wait, let's do that. There we go. Okay. That seems